Welcome back to the channel. Today is harvest time. Join us. We're gonna pick tomatoes and peppers and anything else we can find. There's a lot of stuff in here. So I started and got half a bucket and realized I got a lot more tomatoes here than I thought. So had to go back up to the house, get a Blue Yummy and another bucket and another bucket. It's early second week of September and we're really just now coming into big time harvest of tomatoes. The garden was weird this year. Everything was late. We were late planting. The weather was strange. Stuff just didn't grow the way we thought it would. And so everything's just kind of late. And I don't think we're the only one. Everybody I talk to says pretty much the same thing, that everything's late. Melons and squash are late. Everything they're growing. Well, this is going to be a pretty straightforward video. I mean, this isn't going to be educational at all. Everybody knows what ripe tomatoes look like. But, you know, I thought I'd make it just to kind of share with what I'm doing. Share with y'all. All right. Oh, that's a nice one. Nice and ripe. It's way down low is usually where you find the ones hiding. Looks like the chickens have got some of them, and some of them are rotten down there and falling apart. This is what I mean when you got to kind of dig around for them. Of course, we got a couple of rotten ones in here. I'm just going to leave them. You can probably throw them out and it'll out in the yard or whatever, and then maybe you'll have less bugs in your garden. But I've got so many that are rotten that it's kind of a losing battle, so I'm not going to bother. Now, I put stuff in cages, but the vines grow up, but they also grow out, and those vines produce too. So I don't know, maybe I need bigger cages or something. I wish I could tell you what species or whatever variety of tomato these are. I don't remember. And in fact, I didn't plant these. If you go back and check out my catastrophic gardening videos from a couple of months ago, you'll see that there was some already in the ground. The wife planted some, and I joined in later and planted some of my own. I got a lot of them here. Got this bucket almost full. Hopefully we make lots of diced tomatoes. I think we are. We're gonna have a lot. Salsa too. I got a lot of peppers over there I can plant, or not plant, pick. So we'll have plenty for salsa also. Yeah, throw that guy out. So, interesting little tidbit. If you've never grown tomatoes, they will kind of produce for as long as the weather will let them. And normally another one. Yeah, it's gonna be bad by tomorrow. Toss them. Normally they'll start cashing out maybe around late September or October, but if you have a mild year, sometimes you can do it much later, or they'll keep producing till much later. I have, in fact, picked tomatoes in November before, which is way late for this part of the world, and they're still good. They definitely slow down. They don't produce near as much by then. Got a bunch of rotten stuff down here, but they will produce. And so tomatoes will just kind of keep on giving you what they give you as late as they can, and that's pretty cool. I like tomatoes. We use a lot of tomatoes in our kitchen. We make a lot of stuff that's tomato based. It's good stuff to have around. It's a good plant to grow. I've read that tomatoes are a tropical plant, and that you know, that's why tomato recipes are from parts of the world that are generally warmer, like, you know, Italy and Greece and Spain, and over here it's Mexico and Central America, you know, the salsas, the Mexican food and stuff like that is got a lot of tomatoes and tomato bases in them. So I would say that probably that is probably accurate, that they're a tropical plant. But you can grow them in colder climates. It's just a shorter growing season, but that's all right. Oh boy, I've just got a million of them here. I'm gonna be here half the morning. But not only can you grow them in colder climates, you can buy varieties that have their origins in colder climates. I have grown tomatoes that originate in Germany, in Czech Republic, Russia, Ukraine. I have some, these Soldakis, that are native to Poland. And these ones are, I don't know if I've grown these before, but they're a little lighter, kind of a pink color instead of the red like that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they're pretty good. We've had them on some BLTs, so that's worked out real well. And looking forward to harvesting a few of these. Looks like I've got a few in here. So yeah, there's lots of varieties. If you know, most people just grow like the Independence Days and the early girls and the big boys and the normal stuff. But if you look around online, you can find seeds from all sorts of different sources, and sometimes some pretty cool varieties. I like doing different stuff, you know. So yeah, that's a Soldaki. Wanted to show you these real quick. These are Romas. That one's not any good. Roma tomatoes. And Roma tomatoes are excellent for making sauces, or doing like sun-dried tomatoes. And the reason being is there's very little juice in them. One of the keys to making good sauce is you got to cook the whole pot of tomatoes down really well, and cook it down and evaporate all the water. And that's hard to do when they are tomatoes that are very watery. You end up with a lot of water, and it takes a lot longer to cook them down. But when you've got these meaty Romas, it doesn't take as long. A little less effort involved, and that's always good. Highly recommend Romas if you want to try pizza sauce or spaghetti sauce. They're an excellent base for making those. So, he's not quite ready, but whatever. So yeah, there's bucket number 2. The other things I grow are these peppers here, and they look like hot peppers, but they are not. They are in fact paprikas. And one of the things I do is I make my own paprika powder. I will take these and cut them up, seed them, and put them in the dehydrator. And once they're good and dried out, I will run them through a coffee mill, in fact, and turn them into powder and put them in a jar, put them on the shelf. So it's a little labor intensive, you know, but it's kind of fun. It's probably a lot easier to just go to the store and buy them, but what fun is that, you know? It's not the point. This is what I do. That's a nice one. I don't know if that's supposed to be green and then turn red, or your green peppers will turn red when they get ripe. You know, you buy your green peppers in the store and they're green, but if you let them sit on the vine long enough, most varieties will turn red. And then you've also got some varieties that are supposed to be red. And if I had kept track of what plant was what, I'd be able to tell you what that is, but I don't know, it all eats the same. So it's good enough for me. Anything in here? Doesn't look like it. Couple of nice ones in here. Oh, come on. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be a green one. Sometimes they're a little more pink when they're supposed to be a green that's just overripe. But you never know. I don't know. Write stuff down maybe if you don't want to make the mistakes I make. Not a learning channel, folks. I talk, and if you get something out of it, that's cool. But I'm not really much of a learning channel because, you know, I don't really know what I'm doing. Just sharing with y'all what I do. Oh boy. Boy, we got a lot of them here, don't we? Definitely got salsa on the agenda this weekend. We got some yellow ones starting to ripe. I'm gonna leave him for a few days. That's a nice one. Another one that's gonna look really good here in a day or couple of days. I'll leave him though. And there's my hot boys. I'm gonna leave them today. I'm not gonna pick them. But you see how they look like those paprikas. Definitely want to keep them separate once you get them inside. Not quite ripe, but they'll work. Yeah, in fact, keep my peppers, my hot peppers and my sweet peppers separate, even in the garden. I've got my hot peppers over here and my sweet peppers way over there. That kind of helps me keep track of stuff. You wouldn't want to put those hot peppers, you know, the plant right next to the paprikas either. You forget which one was which, and that's going to be a bad day. Ask me how I know. Oh, look at that one. That's a good one. All right. Well, I think that's about it for the day. I've got a few things okra over there, but you guys have seen that. A few other little things to grab, but this is what I wanted to accomplish this morning. I've got some poblanos here, but I'm going to leave them for another day too. Poblanos are a really good pepper. They're not super hot. They're not even as hot as a jalapeno, so they've got kind of a good flavor, and I like growing them, but not picking them today. Gonna leave them be. All right, so oh, one thing I wanted to explain to you. So this here fencing thing here is something we bought. You'll laugh. We bought this for the kids when they were babies or toddlers, little crawler guys, so that we could work out in the garden and they wouldn't crawl away from us. And since they got bigger, we don't really use it, but we found out that our chickens, there's one right there, another over there, our chickens will come to the garden and they'll start eating our tomatoes. And the little cusses will wait until the tomato is ripe and then start eating them. And so anything low on the ground that they can reach, they'll peck up and peck apart and start eating, and then you've lost that tomato. So we start putting these fences in to try to discourage chickens. In years past, we put up full-on chicken fence all the way around the perimeter to keep them out because they were just destroying everything. But anyway, yeah, you might have to run into that. You might run into that if you got chickens on the property. They'll start eating your produce. That's all I got for the day. I accomplished everything I want to do. So got a pretty good haul of tomatoes. And see the buckets over there, and then I got a half a 5-gallon bucket of peppers here, not including my hot stuff. So I think we're good. I think we're going to be real good, but we're going to be real busy. Gonna make salsa and some diced tomatoes this weekend. So that's one thing when you got a big garden. By the time it starts producing, you spend all your time in the kitchen. It seems like we spend all of August and September processing this stuff and keeping it for the winter. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. If you got anything out of that or liked it, or I don't know, whatever, like, subscribe, drop me a comment if you see anything I'm doing wrong, and I can probably tell you to shut up or not, whatever, you know. So anyway, see you around.